Welcome to the Fearless Female Entrepreneur. I'm your host, Katarina Kormas. This is a podcast for women who are ready to break free from the 9-to-5 and confidently create a blended life that feels free, fulfilling, and fully aligned. Here, we're all about building a lifestyle that fits you, combining business, career, family, passions, and purpose into one beautifully unboxed life. Through mindset shifts, inspiring stories, and real conversations, you'll learn to live and lead fearlessly. Tune in for solo episodes and interviews with women doing life and business their way, boldly, creatively, and without apology. If you're desiring time freedom, financial freedom, and the freedom to live with purpose, you are in the perfect place. Hello, lovelies. Welcome back to the Fearless Female Entrepreneur podcast. So today is Thanksgiving, American Thanksgiving, and I have off from my spa job today. I am not going anywhere to celebrate. I am making myself some cranberry orange bread, making my own little Thanksgiving dinner. I'm still in my pajamas. And I thought, well, what better podcast episode to launch this week than one about gratitude, because that's what Thanksgiving is all about, being thankful. So I thought today we would do a deep dive into gratitude practice. I'll share a little bit of my story with gratitude and my journey with a gratitude practice, which I guess I can say I resisted for a very long time. And how it really changes your mindset in your life. So I remember first learning about gratitude and having a gratitude practice. It was a long time ago, probably by now over 15 years ago. And I struggled so much with finding gratitude, just generally in my life. I felt so unhappy. I was just rooted so deeply into what was wrong in my life. I was envious of everyone else. I felt like such a failure. I felt like nothing was going my way. I felt like my dreams were completely out of reach. But I remember people telling me to start writing down the things I was grateful for. And quite literally, absolutely nothing came to mind. Everything I looked at, everything in my life, it wasn't what I wanted it to be. I was so steeped in, woe is me, everyone else has an amazing life and they get what they want and nothing is going right for me. So it's in that mindset that I was sinking deeper and deeper and deeper into these woe is me thought patterns. I felt like I was kind of like in quicksand without any helping hand, no branch, no rope, nothing to pull me out. So the actual idea of finding something to be grateful for sounded absolutely ridiculous. So when I decided to sit down, after countless people said I should start by creating a gratitude practice or process, I just started to write, I'm grateful for my cup of tea. Because at that point, that was the only thing I was grateful for. But that was the beginning of my gratitude journaling journey. It was just finding that one thing, but I could not see beyond that. And I will tell you, I was not consistent with the practice of gratitude. I gave it a shot, tried it here and there, and people would nudge me to do it again and do it again and do it again. So I tried again and I tried again and I tried again. It took me so many years to fully understand the sheer power of a gratitude practice. Because in my eyes, right, it's not solving my immediate problem. It's not giving me money. It's not giving me a dream job. It's not allowing me to quit my job. It's not allowing me to start a business. It's not allowing me to live where I want to live. It's not giving me the loving romantic relationship I'm looking for. So I couldn't see how being grateful was going to be beneficial. And I also feel like, I don't know if your family or friends or teachers or anybody ever like said these things to you, like, you should just be grateful for everything you have, right? Sometimes you can't just be grateful for something, right? You can't be forced. You should be grateful that you have running water. It's like, yes, I am grateful for that. But sometimes it just feels so unnatural, right? It's like you're forcing gratitude on me, right? But and so I didn't understand it. I felt like gratitude was something I should always be grateful for. I should be grateful for everything I have. But it was kind of like I always felt like somebody was telling me to be grateful. But everything shifted at one point. Not understanding how it could impact my current situation, not being able to see the tangible transition from where I was in my current life to where I wanted to be. It was a lot of effort. It didn't feel natural. And I felt like it was so much work that I didn't want to put in. Not that I didn't want to change my energy or change my mindset or change or be happier. I just couldn't see how it was going to do that. And now I get it, right? I'm a mindset coach. I get it. But now the way I look at it, I don't know if this is the best analogy, but the best way to explain it is that it's like turning your head slightly to see that the sun is peeking out of the clouds, but you've been looking at like the storm clouds the whole time and you haven't even noticed that if you turned your head to the left, the sun is there. And the sun's always there if you look up and you seek it out. Like, that's gratitude. If you seek it out, it's there. But if you're not looking for it, you can't see it. But everything kind of changed when I looked at gratitude a little differently, or I guess I added to the gratitude process. One of the things I had to ask myself at one point was, why is it so easy to focus on the bad and not having enough instead of focusing on all the good? And of course, I realized my answer is deeply connected to me being an American in a highly capitalistic and toxic culture. And in other parts of the world, it's most likely not like this. But we have been taught, and it's been drilled into us, to desire bigger and shinier and newer models, the next promotion, the next raise, the next level of success, the bigger house, the newer car, the next model of iPhone. My sister and I actually were talking about this morning, about how this year we each had to get a new iPhone. I had my old one for maybe 6 years. She had her old one for like 7 years. And we talked about how expensive they were and frustrating it was to have to, get a newer model and pay all this money because our older ones that technically worked perfectly well, they started not being able to do important updates and things like that. But how we've become this culture that you have to have the newer model of iPhone, iPad, iWatch, whatever. And this concept of more and different is force-fed into us, in every magazine ad, commercial, social media post, corporate messaging, right? Everything's like, you should want more, you should want more, you should want better, you should want the next model, you should make changes so that you're accepted. Our thinking is molded to look for more, to focus on what we don't have, to move towards the next thing, right? It's this constant cycle. And so when you're constantly looking at something else, you're not really present in your own life. And the more that happens, it's kind of like it just feeds itself. The more it happens that you're looking for more, you're looking for better, you're looking to improve, the more you feel like what you have and who you are isn't enough. And it just feeds it. And it just feeds it. I'm not enough. I don't have enough. I'm not enough. I don't have enough. And that thought pattern and mindset triggers such a physical and emotional reaction in us. It's not just a thought. It makes us frustrated and angry and defeated and desperate and envious. And all these emotions rob us of our energy and our peace and our time and possibilities, because we're so stuck in it. And then if you think about gratitude and being thankful, it's a very peaceful energy. It's a very heartwarming energy. It's a very healing energy. it gives our body relief from being in like fight or flight mode and stress mode all the time. It is an initial, like an immediate calming effect. And it also brings us back to the present. It roots us into where we are now instead of running towards the next thing that needs to be done or accomplished or changed. It gets us away from the past that we might be stewing about, that, we can't change and we can't go back to. And it just reminds us that we are living right here, right now. For me, it was a way to wake myself out of this kind of like, I don't want to say hypnosis, but it kind of felt like I was kind of hypnotized into my stuck feeling, only seeing my struggle. And our thinking, if you think about it, is based on filters that we put over our thoughts. If we lead with the filter of lack and struggle and not enough, that's all we see. It doesn't matter if something great happens. It won't be enough because we're trained to wear that not enough filter. It's kind of like we talk about this at the spa all the time. If somebody comes into the spa and has a bad experience in some way, it could be something small like something went wrong at check-in, or their robe was the wrong size, or their food was cold, or whatever. It's like a filter. Once they see that something's wrong, the rest of the spa experience, they're still kind of looking for everything to be wrong after that. And that's how we live our life a lot of the times, whether we realize it or not. And it doesn't matter if you're happy with your life or you're not happy with your life. We just tend to look for improvements or changes or what we don't have. And that's just a filter that we put on. And we need to actively put on there are things that are good right now type lens every day. And I used to hate, I think about this all, I used to hate the movie Pollyanna. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but that girl just irked me so much. I wanted to yell, just stop living in La La Land. Like, you're annoying. And it wasn't until I got older that I saw that she chose to put on the gratitude lens, even though, her story was, I think her parents were missionaries and they didn't have much and they didn't have much money or anything. But it was her choice that she made and was taught by her parents to see things in a certain filter. And if you thought about it, she had so much energy, right? Everybody around her was like miserable. And she was just lighthearted and always, looking for the good and what to be grateful for. And it's just such a different energy. It was such a great movie of a comparison of like the older man, the house that was overgrown that she sneaks into and he's all angry. And then she brings in this gratitude and this light and this positive energy, and you can see this shift, the contrast. So we can actively choose to shift our thoughts. We can actively choose how we want to see things, even if your internal wiring has been so used to telling a specific type of story or seeing things a certain way, or you've spent so much time focusing on lack and negativity. And a gratitude practice, just asking yourself what you're grateful for, is the easiest way to make a quick shift in your energy, in how you're seeing the world. It is a quick shift. Now, I want to asterisk here, right? Like, I will say that if you were in the midst of like a meltdown or a breakdown, an acute, emotional moment, this is not what you focus on, right? You're not going to shift out of like that really intense emotion. I mean, sometimes you just have to have that breakdown, eat the ice cream, cry it out, go to bed, throw the covers over your head. But once that emotion fades, then this is the perfect time to start a gratitude process. But other than those like really intense emotional moments, this is the best and easiest way to start consciously leading yourself to rewire your thoughts. And I want to give you two quick stories on how a gratitude practice made a huge impact. One is my own story, and one is a client of mine. And I I think about this all the time because it really is a journey, right? It is part of your journey. It really is a part of you growing and expanding and experiencing a very joyful, satisfied, thriving life. So I told you at the beginning of this episode, of the process of me asking what I'm grateful for, but I want to continue that story because yes, I started it. I eventually understood what gratitude was as I became a mindset coach and understood changing our thought patterns. But I want to share is how my gratitude practice itself shifted. And the only way that I can describe it is that it became so much more expansive. It really started out, as I said, with me being just grateful for my tea, because that's all I could give. That's the smallest little change I could make at the time was I'm just grateful for my hot cup of tea. Then when I got my dog, I would write about being grateful for my dog and about the time we spent in the backyard together and how that made me happy. And sometimes it was like focusing on gratitude that I had a day off and I didn't have to go to my soul-sucking job, right? And sometimes it had, that's what it is. Oh, thank gosh, I don't have to go to my job today. I'm exhausted. It started shifting when I started including in why I was grateful for the things I was writing down. Like, I am grateful for my car because it gets me to work, or I'm grateful for my home because it makes me feel safe. In my mind, I was frustrated that I couldn't afford another car since mine was really old. When I got rid of my car, I think it was 16 years old. And then I was frustrated that I couldn't afford more furniture for my house. I couldn't afford to fix it up. I was struggling so much to pay the house bills and to keep up the maintenance because the house maintenance, especially in Texas, really expensive. But both things got to be true. I could be grateful for something while wanting something different. And that was such an eye-opener. The depth of the why part really helped me understand myself and how the gratitude I had for that thing, how that impacted me. So that was expansive in the personal, like internal way, right? It was helping me understand who I was, why things were important to me. But the other piece was two things got to be true. And it was such an eye-opener. I could be grateful for my job and still want another one. I could be grateful for the little backyard that I had and the time I spent in it and still dream of a yard with more gardens and more yard furniture. And it was just a rewiring happening in my brain without me realizing it. Yes, I was struggling. I was financially struggling. I was struggling with my self-confidence. I was struggling with growing my business, not necessarily like reaching my dreams, but that desperate, defeated energy was shifting. It was kind of like I was getting a little break from feeling like there was no hope because it was like opening my eyes to see, wait a minute, there's so much that I've dreamed about having that I have now. And it does make me feel a good way when I'm not thinking about wanting something else and I'm focusing on what I have. I tapped into that feeling of, but I really love this thing. I really love this thing, right? It taps back into that love, that joy feeling. And it was this like kind of domino effect because I started becoming less cranky. I had less mood swings. I wasn't frustrated at work. I'm pretty sure I was more pleasant to work with. And I didn't always feel so frantic because I was getting those moments of reprieve from life taking control and pushing me in 10 different directions and me wanting to be in 10 different directions. It gave me that moment to be in my life where it was now. And as the years have gone on, my gratitude practice has shifted and expanded. I find myself grateful for not just the tangible things, but for things like my creativity, new possibilities coming my way, money that's flowing to me, even if I can't see it yet. I'm even so grateful for those moments, the time I get to sit and journal. And I can feel how my mind has just expanded to see beyond where I am. And that was kind of another shocking thing about gratitude. It's helped me see that more is always coming. Because when you take the time to every day be in the moment, to look around you right now and see what you're grateful for, and then you're capturing the things that are happening yesterday, the day before, and you're like, oh, I'm so grateful that happened. I'm so grateful this happened. I'm so grateful for this. You start to see that things are coming to you and there's more and more to be grateful for. It could be something as I'm so grateful for a new friend I met. I'm so grateful that I went on this first date and I had such a great time. Before you did that, before you did the gratitude practice, you might have been like, oh, I just want to be in a relationship. I want to go out. I want to do things. And then it happens and you're actively tracking it, right? With your practice and being like, oh, I'm so grateful that happened. You're tracking it. So you start to have more moments in the present to focus on. And then you start to see that more are coming and more are coming because each day that you're doing it, you're capturing more and more that are coming. And you just become aware of how your life is moving forward, how you're learning, how you're growing. And that, for me, that definitely expanded my scope to see the limitless possibilities and opportunities available because I am actively conscious of the things happening in my life. And it's kind of like, not writing your autobiography, right? But it's kind of like you're narrating your life. You're writing your life story through your gratitude process. So that is how I've grown. I've expanded, how it's changed me. And I want to tell you about a client of mine because her story is a little different. I'm going to call her D. She reached out to me a few years ago after I think she had listened to a podcast episode, joined my Facebook group, and then she booked a momentum call, a free 30-minute call with me. And she reached out because she felt so stuck in her struggle. It was just draining her. She wanted to start a business. She wanted time freedom to be with her baby. She was just stuck in this 9 to 5 that she did not like. It didn't empower her. She wasn't passionate about it. She hated being away from her baby when she was working. And she just felt all of it, right? She just felt stuck. And she was so focused on how miserable and unhappy she was, how she didn't like her job, how nothing was going the way she wanted it to go. And she knew, and I knew on the call, that her mindset needed to shift fast. Like she knew when she called, she said, I'm in my own way. And she knew she needed to stop giving away her energy and her mental capacity to all this unhappiness so that she can start to feel more peace and joy, so that she can start to be in a better mental and emotional state to take actions and have, to go towards her dream, because she was coming home so drained after work because she was so unhappy and she was not depressed, but sad. And that's not a motivating emotion to go out and take action. So at the end of the 30-minute call, I gave her just 2 journaling exercises. I said, from now until we talk, because she joined my breakthrough program, and she's like, I said, from now until that first call, all I want you to do is wake up and ask yourself what you're grateful for. And the other was to write down how she was already abundant. That's it. That's all I said. In the next week or 2 weeks, I forget how long it was, this is all I want you to do. I wanted her to bring herself back to the present, to see what she already had, so she could just not be so exhausted at the end of the day and instead feel excited and motivated about the new things coming to her. Within a week of her doing this, before our first official coaching call, already things started picking up. It switched her so quickly that she was actually approached at work to work on a project that had nothing to do with her 9 to 5 job role, but was actually more aligned to the business she wanted to start. It was just an opportunity that opened up for her. And it was, yes, she made such a small shift, but that internal energy shift was not only felt by her, it was felt by others, and it left her open to new opportunities because she was more open to there being new opportunities. She had now had the time and mental capacity to even allow in more of that. It left her just approachable because she wasn't so focused on what she didn't want and woe is me and that heavy energy. She took back control of her energy, her thought patterns, and ultimately her life and dreams, because then she became really, really motivated to focus on her business. And I think we just all have to be honest that life gets crazy, absolutely crazy. It gets busy. It's pulling us and demanding so much from us. All the external, our families, our friends, our jobs, our people, they're just like, it's all consuming. And it's our job in our own lives to consciously and intentionally take back that power and that control so that we can start like experiencing and feeling what we desire to feel. And the only way we can do that is to not be mentally everywhere else, but instead keep bringing ourselves back to the present. Bring ourselves back into our own lives and what lights up our heart. And that's the great thing about gratitude, is that it brings us back to our heart and soul, the things that light us up. And that switch can also remind us of what's not a priority in our life, or it'll remind us what we want to do more of and experience more of. I think we kind of not disassociate, but get distracted so much by the external world pulling us away from ourselves that sometimes we forget the things that we really enjoy. I just pulled out, I've been making my mom, I guess my parents, but my mom, this Mickey and Minnie Christmas cross stitch thing for years. We're talking like 10 years, and I never finished it. I love to do cross stitch. Love it. I pulled it out the other day and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm really good at this. I love doing this. And it was just like a reminder of how grateful I am for hobbies that bring me so much joy. I've been doing paint by number as well. And I just love to sit there and watch a movie and I'm painting, and I'm so grateful that that's a part of me, that I have that thing that lights me up and I'm excited to do when I have some downtime. It just brings us back to us. And that is the power of gratitude. It doesn't have to be complicated. I think there's so many interpretations on a gratitude process, right? Or a gratitude practice. And it doesn't have to be complicated. And there's no right or wrong. This is totally yours. There's no, I should be grateful for having running water. I should be grateful for a roof over my head, right? Like what we've always been taught to be grateful for. It doesn't have to be complicated. Every morning, I just spend a few minutes brain dumping all that I'm grateful for and why. And it's just what comes to me that day. I just allow it to flow. There's no right or wrong. There's no like, I need to write it all down. It's just what I feel in that morning. It's just to tap into. It says, I could be writing for days of the things I'm grateful for, but I don't have that time. I just limit myself to 1 or 2 minutes of writing it down. I have a few like lines in my journal that I'll talk about in a second. And I just write till that's filled up. It could be something so simple as the shower you're about to take. You're so grateful for the day you have off, or that, I'm so grateful I have a date tonight, that kind of thing. It could be as simple as my warm, cozy bed or your morning coffee. But it also can be expansive. Like, I am so grateful for the future husband that's going to come into my life, or the new job opportunity coming my way. Sometimes I write down things like, I'm grateful for the divine guidance I get every day, the inspiration that comes to me. It could be something like, I'm so grateful I don't have a migraine today. I'm so grateful I have blankets all around my house to keep me nice and cozy. It's your practice. It's what you feel. It's personal to you. Nobody needs to know about it. it's not a judging thing. No matter how you approach it, though, I just encourage you to dive in. Just do it. Just grab a pen and paper. Set aside as much time as you can commit. Don't judge yourself. And let that be just how you start your day. And put the most empowering filter over your thoughts for the day. That's what gratitude's going to do. It's going to start your day with the right filter. So if you can just grab any journal and just write, I am grateful for. If you want to do the abundance exercise, you can say, I am already abundant, or how am I already abundant? And write down all the things you have. I have all the time in the world. I have all the fresh air in the world. I have limitless amount of hot mugs for my coffee, right? That one's another one we can go into another podcast, but expansive thinking. I also created the quarterly journal and planner. It's called the Becoming Quarterly Journal and Planner. And it's about putting your mindset first when you're planning your life and you're leading yourself every single day. And that planner actually has daily journaling pages that includes journal prompts about gratitude, abundance, and leading yourself to your next level goals. So every day there's actually a page that you journal in. And you can download the Becoming Quarterly Journal and Planner at katarinakormas.com, and it's under the free resources menu item. So anyway, gratitude. I am grateful for all of you, by the way. Very grateful for this podcast. I know I come in and out, and sometimes it's a while between episodes, but I love this podcast. I am so grateful for you for listening. I'm grateful for you for subscribing. Hit that subscribe button. I hope this was helpful for you. And you know what? I'd love to know if you have your own gratitude process, or if you are going to start one after listening to this episode. Reach out to me. Let me know how it's going and what aha moments you've had and how it's changed your life. I'd love to hear that. Anyway, thank you all for listening, and I'll see you all next time. Bye. Hello, lovely. I have something super special for you today, the Becoming Quarterly Planner and Journal. This isn't just any planner. This is a mindset-first approach to creating the future life you're dreaming about right now. This planner helps you create your quarterly strategy from a place of who you want to become, and it combines the habits, actions, thoughts, and beliefs that you need to embrace right now in order to lead yourself each and every day. Not only does it include planning pages, it also includes a dream journal, plus monthly, weekly, and daily journal prompts to help you step into the beautiful future version of you that you desire to become. You can download the Becoming Planner and Journal at katarinakormas.com and click on the free resources page. I hope you enjoy it as much as I do.